Today, we're going to break down one of the fastest growing real estate companies in the country, Real Brokerage. What's up guys, it's KMAC back again with another video this week. And if you're by chance new to this channel, or maybe you've come across this video just by searching on YouTube itself, give you guys a little background of who I am. I am a real estate agent and team lead in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Been licensed for about 5.5 years now, and I was with a previous brokerage for about 3.5 years. Decided to make the transition over to Real Brokerage in 2020, technically October of 2020, so it's been 2 full years since I've been here at Real Brokerage, and today I wanted to break down just what Real Brokerage is. Now, if you are a new agent and are not familiar with how a real estate brokerage works, typically speaking, and most of the large, and I would say 90 to 95% of most real estate brokerages will have a real estate split. Now, what I mean by real estate split, there's a certain amount of a transaction that you're going to be required to pay the brokerage. It's obviously going to vary by brokerage, but most of the time you're going to have a split. I'll tell you right now, with Real Brokerage, it is a 85-15 split. For every $100 you make, 15 of it goes to your real estate brokerage, or in this case, Real Brokerage. However, when it comes to your actual split, there will be a cap here at Real Brokerage. Side note, make sure to do your due diligence when it comes to other brokerages, because some brokerages don't always have a cap on that split. Now, Real Brokerage itself, again, 85-15, so you're paying a 15% split. That 15% split caps at $12,000 a year. Now, if we're taking a look at Real Brokerage and the $12,000 cap that we have here, and you compare it to the other large name brokerages, most of them are gonna have a 16, 18, 20, north of $20,000 cap, and even some brokerages technically will never stop a cap. I know there's certain brokerages out there that will keep you on a 90-10 split forever, or a 95-5 split forever, which basically means for every $100 that you're making as a real estate agent, at Real, you're paying $15 to the brokerage. At other brokerages, you could potentially be paying more. And then at the individuals that wind up actually never capping, you're gonna wind up paying $5 to $10, maybe more, forever and infinitely for that year, because there is no cap. But once again, guys, once you hit that $12,000 cap, you are officially capped for the year, and you move on to a transaction fee. Now, that transaction fee per transaction is gonna be $225. That does wind up going down once you have accumulated enough transactions and have paid $225 enough times to where you have accumulated $6,000 in transaction fees. So if we just do quick numbers there, $6,000 divided by $225 a transaction fee, you're looking at close to about 27 additional transactions in order for you to have that $225 transaction fee now go down to $100. And $100 is gonna be what you essentially pay for the rest of the year until you reset and start that all over. Now, there is a bonus for hitting that $6,000 transaction fee amount, which I'm going to have a little bit later in the video, but it is one of the biggest and best bonuses at Real Brokerage. Now, there is a $149 startup fee, and we do have an annual fee that is taken out of your first 2 transactions. It's gonna be $250 per transaction. So total fees that you're looking at, again, $149 startup fee, $250 out of your first transaction, and $250 out of your second transaction fee, for a total of your $500 annual fee, your $12,000 cap, and then essentially $6,000 in transaction fees if you do an additional 27 deals after you cap, and then however many more transactions, you just multiply it by 100, and that's essentially what your annual fees here at Real Brokerage are. One of the great things, and one of the big reasons why I made the transition from my previous brokerage over to Real Brokerage 2 years ago, was the opportunity with stock. Now, here at Real Brokerage, we have an equitable contribution stock option within your transactions, which I'll get to in a second, as well as stock grants. So let's start with that equitable contribution when it comes to your transactions. So this is when you complete a transaction, you close completely, and you have opted in to that contribution. You can actually contribute 5% of your commission towards stock. Now, what this does is that 5% pre-cap and that 10% post-cap, Real actually bonuses you based on that contribution. So the agent stock purchase program, which is the equitable contribution that you can make as an agent, before you cap, you can contribute $3,400 towards stock. And once you cap, you can actually contribute up to $15,000 in stock for a total amount of $18,400 that you can contribute off of the transactions you've closed. Now, as far as the amount that Real Brokerage will bonus you, it's based off of whether or not you've capped or not. So again, that $3,400 pre-cap can be bonused at 15%, and that $15,000 post-cap can be bonused by Real Brokerage, again, stock that's not even yours, by 30%. So really, to break all this down for you guys, nice and easy, you're essentially contributing north of $18,000 towards company stock, and what Real Brokerage will do is they will bonus you north of $5,000 in their own stock gifted to you, and it only requires a 12-month vest, meaning that $18,400 you just let sit in your brokerage account, and within 1 year, that $5,000 that Real Brokerage bonused you is essentially your stock, and you can do whatever you want with it. So that's the agent stock option program, or basically the equitable stock that you can purchase within your commissions. Now, if we go beyond that, there's actually additional ways that you can earn stock, but those are going to be stock grants. Stock grants are going to require a 36-month period of vesting or a 3-year vest. Now, the opportunities to earn these stock grants are going to be from attracting agents or bringing agents into the company, capping, which if you cap every single year, and if you're with a larger brokerage or any other brokerage and you're capping anyways, this is essentially a given every single year. And the last option that you're going to be able to get is through the elite program. So you may be asking, how many stocks do I get if I bring on an agent? Or how many stocks do I get if I attract an agent? So these numbers are going to vary based on the size of the brokerage. I can tell you, when I joined at 1,100 agents, the stock bonuses or stock grants were much higher than they are now. The reason being is obviously as we continue to grow, we can't ultimately continue to give out as much stock as we were when we were smaller. Now, what I can tell you, as of October 2022, and being a little under 7,000 agents, if you were to cap right now, you'd be given 500 shares. Now, those 500 shares in terms of dollar value, obviously they will be subject to the current price of our stock, which me personally, I believe our stock has a huge upside moving forward. But again, we're at $1.56, 500 shares, so you're looking about $750 to $800 as of right now if you were to be given that cap award. Now, as far as attraction, very similar story. Attraction happens when you bring an agent into the company and they complete their first deal. $1.56, you're gonna get 250 shares instead of 500 for every agent you attract that completes one deal. $1.56 times 250, you're looking at about $390 or close to $400 for every single agent that you attract. Now, again, that monetary value is based on the $1.56 that our current stock value is in October of 2022. I have a good sense that that stock value is going to continue to rise. Now, the last option for you to be able to earn stock grants, which again, stock grants require a 3-year vest, is the elite program, which is the best award that you can earn with a company. And that $12,000 cap that I was mentioning before, as well as that $6,000 in transaction fees, you may be saying, hey, Casey, that's $18,000 in fees. Well, what I can tell you is if you hit that elite threshold, you get that $18,000 back immediately into your stock account. Now, on top of that, you also get an additional $6,000 in stock if you opt in for the Real Academy. The Real Academy is basically where we give back to our agents within our company and basically host Zoom calls or different masterminds to really provide value and collaboration. So really, at the end of the day, if you're contributing and getting that $5,000 in free stock from Real Brokerage every single year, you're also attracting agents and you're capping and you're hitting a lead agent, you're essentially going to be making money off of Real Brokerage every single year. And even if you're a producer that isn't necessarily producing to that level of elite and getting that $18,000 to $24,000 back in company stock, if you're attracting agents, you're still gonna be getting stock. If you're completing transactions and potentially capping, you're gonna be getting stocks. And when you're comparing brokerages to brokerages, there's not a lot of brokerages out there that give stock back to their agents. And if all of that wasn't enough for you to consider Real Brokerage as your brokerage, we also have revenue share. Now, if you're already a real estate agent or if you've been in the real estate realm, you've probably heard what revenue share is. It's a relatively newer model in the real estate realm. There's one brokerage specifically that unveiled this maybe 5 to 10 years ago, and Real Brokerage unleashed its new ICA 2 years ago with stock and revenue share as an opportunity for new agents. And since then, we have grown from 1,100 agents to almost 7,000 in just 2 years. Now, to break revenue share down for you, because it is different at every single brokerage, I'm gonna break it down here for you with Real Brokerage. Revenue share is essentially making the opportunity at the real estate brokerage more for the agents rather than the actual brokerage. The old model is essentially you pay a cap, you give it to the brokerage. It's just the cost of doing business. Now what Real Brokerage is doing is it's actually giving back to the agents that has helped grow the company. No longer is it just, you know, hey, that's my annual fee, that's what I'm paying every single year, I don't ever get to see it again. And now it's really, hey, you pay a fee, you essentially could get it paid back to you if you hit that elite status, as I had just mentioned. But on top of that, if you help grow the company, the stock inherently is going to go up, which is just a benefit for everyone in the company. But also on top of that, you're gonna be able to earn additional income off of the agents that you've brought in. Now, our revenue share opportunity here at Real Brokerage is a little bit different than other real estate brokerages that do have revenue share. It actually starts at a kind of tiered system from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1%. Now, with that staired model, basically what that means is 5%, the first $80,000 that agent produces, or really of that $80,000 that are gonna be paying that $12,000 cap, you can collect $4,000 off of that $12,000 cap. So again, if I'm an agent, I'm gonna pay Real Brokerage every single year that $12,000 cap. Now let's say Sammy decides to bring in her friend. Sammy wants to bring in Susan. So if Sammy brings in Susan, again, I have an opportunity to collect 4% or $3,200. Now this tiers down from $4,000 to $3,200 to $2,400 to $1,600, and the last and final tier of $800 is what I could collect off of tier 5. Now the biggest caveat here is I obviously have to have producing agents to unlock these tiers. In order to unlock tier 2, I have to have 10 producing agents on my front line, meaning 10 individual agents that I personally have brought in and they're producing. Now to unlock tier 3, I have to have 15, tier 4, 20, and tier 5, 25. Now the great thing about revenue share is you essentially get to leverage your network. Like if you're an individual agent that's brand new, you may not be doing a ton of attraction, but I can tell you, if you start to produce just on social media alone, I was able to start making an impact in the real estate realm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Started to have a little bit more influence and bring agents into my previous brokerage that I then brought over to Real Brokerage. I started to build my organization through the revenue share opportunity. And even if you're a newer agent and you only attract a couple agents, let's say you've been licensed for 6 months and you decide to bring 3 agents over that will cap here at Real Brokerage, that's $4,000, $8,000, $12,000 off of those 3 agents, which is exactly how much you're gonna be paying every single year just with your cap here at Real Brokerage. So basically, if you cap every single year and you have 3 producing agents that cap, you're really not paying Real Brokerage much, if anything, at the end of the year. And to end this video, guys, that is from the brokerage's standpoint. Now, on top of that, there's gonna be additional value within the brokerage if you start to collaborate and network with the right type of people. I can tell you a lot of the reason why I've sold over $100 million in real estate in my first 5 years being a realtor is because I've surrounded myself with the right type of people. The kind of people that are gonna motivate me to make YouTube videos or make a YouTube channel. The people that are gonna motivate me and push me to be louder on social media and to get out there and put my head out there in order for people to really know what I truly do. There's been a huge amount of value that I've gotten from the people that I have associated myself with, specifically here at Real Brokerage, that has been a huge asset to my business. So beyond everything that I just mentioned to you guys, a huge opportunity here at Real Brokerage just from a collaboration standpoint. I can tell you, we are continuing to grow at a rapid pace. And as far as video goes, when it comes to the real estate realm, I believe we are, if not already, one of the leading brokerages when it comes to video. If you do have any questions about Real Brokerage, I'm gonna leave my information down in the description below, including my email and my Instagram. Feel free to leave a comment if you don't want to reach out to me via either of those. I'll make sure to get back with you. If you do have any clarification questions, I'd love to get back with you as well. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help, and stay tuned for the next video.